First of all, we as an agency, as a regulator in Croatia, we are independent. We are independent even on the paper, according to the law of electronic media. We are independent regulators. Our mandate is 5 years. And speaking about transparency in ownership, the transparency is very important, and it is on our website. Each owner, before he enters on the list of the regulator, should put his name on the website. It means that if you are owner of the radio station or of the television or of the portal, your name of the owner must be on the website. So everybody who enters our website can see who is actually behind each of these media. At the same time, there are questioning: are they really owners of the media, or somebody else own them? Unfortunately, we do not have such rights. We are not the police, we are not inspectors with the badges, so we can check and recheck their own papers. But according to the law, they should present themselves as owners.
Would you like to have, as a regulator, any additional power? When you now do this transparency, do you want to do more? What do you miss?
First of all, it's question of media policy, and after that it's question of the law, of the general law, of a penal code. But at the same time, we are 5 of us, 7 of us. It will be very hard. It's specific business to enter in the ownership of media owners. So it means that our legal department, we have a legal department, should be much larger and with much more competence. I don't know if that scope should be within the regulator or on the state level obligation, supported by the law, that you should be transparent in the case of ownership.
What about subsidies? You are also one of
it's a fund for pluralism and diversity of electronic media. It's very helpful. It is 3% of annual budget collected by the fees of a public broadcaster. It's around 32 million kunas per year. And we divide that, we have our regulatory document. We divide that 46%, 46.5 to, we call that the bigger part, that's a television, and just a few radio stations, around 22 or 23 of them. A smaller part are all radio broadcasters. Till now we have, I think, 45. And the rest are portals, which are now almost 100, but they all do not apply for a fund. And at the same time, audiovisual providers on the internet. So it's a huge number of media producers here in Croatia that can apply for the money from the fund. We have a criteria, and criteria is connected with the public interest. Your programs that you present for that fund should be fulfillment of the public interest in certain categories. It's a news program, it's a culture, education, tradition, manifestations of a different kind. It's at the same time questions of gender and national minorities.
How do you provide that the decision making is independent, professional? Is it transparent?
It is. Members of the council, they evaluate all these programs, and we put them on the website also, the results of our decision making, with how many points each of them have received and how much money is that.
Do you follow if they are really implementing this?
Exactly, because to the 1 kuna they should have a financial documents that they really use that money for such program, because they present for the fund with the 5 different programs.
But in the past there were reports about misuse several years ago.
Well, I don't want to talk about the past. I can speak only about the period that I'm in the council as a president and as a member, and we really take a lot of care of the programs, of the media producers, and at the same time, how do they spend the money.
Do you think at the end that these kind of subsidies to public interest content is useful, or should it be increased, or how to make it?
It is very useful, because I'm aware of the fact that a lot of media producers will never enter in certain areas like, for example, education. Perhaps amusement or music is much common for their public. So we support the programs that are of the value for citizens. And at the same time, if it will be okay to have more money, if you ask anybody, they will say, yes, we need more money. We need more money. But at the same time, who is going to give it? Because if it comes from the state, it's not anymore the same thing as when it comes from the public broadcasters, actually from the public. Mm-hmm. That's a public money. On the local level, local governments, they are not very keen to support the local media, only in the case when they can profit from them. Even according to the law, I think it's Article 33, they should put some money on the side in the budget when you speak about their presentations in the media. But if you don't put that in your budget, you are not obliged to do that.
If the person on top is changed, because this is the case in many of countries.
I think, this time now, it's not only a question of one person. I think that we have, for the moment, it means for this period of over 5 years, we have a very qualified members of council, and at the same time persons of integrity. That's what matters in each of our business, not only in the council, but when you are connected with the money and with the dealing with the money and with the media, it's very important. And I'm happy with that, but at the same time, law and perhaps a future media policy or strategy will make this highway, so you cannot escape from the highway easily. You should follow.